Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm very glad to have this chance to speak my topic here. And as you see here is the picture of Pechi. I took the picture. And as I have been teaching for more than 1 year, and I found some Chinese girls in Pechi. And so here the topic is about the common curve in Hungary. Of course, it's wrong, it's in Pechi, because I didn't go to other city, only in Pechi. Okay, and here, first I will introduce what is traditional Chinese medicine. Here is the definition about traditional Chinese medicine. And the word is Chinese medicine, but it's wrong, it's not that meaning. Because the Chinese word looks like a picture. So this is some ingredients inside. Here included the Chinese food, Chinese herbs, Chinese acupuncture, Chinese massage, and the moxibustion, and some many methods. So here its meaning is medicine, and its meaning is many method, many therapy to treat disease. And here that word is not Chinese. That word is like this. It's balance. Its meaning is balance. So in China, we call ourselves is Chinese, and the word is Chinese people. That's why it's Chinese. But the meaning is balance. What's the meaning of balance? Balance is left, right, cold, cool, warm or hot, and negative or positive. So at last, here left and right. And this one is balance. So what's the meaning of TCM? Its meaning is to keep the balance by many methods. So that includes the needle, acupuncture, and some many methods. And this one principle is balance. So here I will introduce some common herbs I found in Pechi. And maybe some of you are very familiar with that. Okay, here, what's that? This one is a very classic Chinese medicine, Chinese herb. And of course you know what's that. That is the peel of tangerine, or orange skin tangerine peel. And in China, this one is a food, it's a herb, it's a medicine. And of course, what's the function of that? In China, this one is for the appetite. When you lost the appetite in summer, when you lost the appetite because you are very full, and you lost the appetite because your temper, your emotion, this one you can make it as a kind of tea. You put that into the warm hot water. It's a kind of tea. That one can help you to benefit your appetite. And in China, we prepare this kind of orange skin as the tea, as a kind of cake, and some kind of food, or the sugar, just like liquid sugar. It's for different purposes. And this one is ginger. So in fact, in China, we mix the Chinese medicine and the Chinese food. Sometimes we put some herbs in our food, and sometimes our food can help our body to keep it healthy. For example, in China, we will eat the tea to calm down our body, and sometimes we will eat the ginger to warm our body, because we need to keep a balance. Someone is cold people, someone is warm people. Okay, you understand that? Someone is afraid of winter, someone is afraid of summer. So here, the ginger can help us to warm our body. And besides that, the ginger in China has some different functions. For example, vomiting. If someone is vomiting, we can prepare the ginger tea. Ginger tea can warm our stomach and stop vomiting. And some other function is, if someone has a bald, no hair on top of our head, Chinese people will cut a piece of ginger and to do the just like massage on the top of our head, because the ginger juice can stimulate the blood circulation. And in China, we have another shampoo. That shampoo is called ginger shampoo. Ginger shampoo, we use that to wash the hair and prevent bald. Of course, if you already have the board, it's no use, but it will let to prevent the board. Of course, some other functions. And this one, what's that? It's a kind of tree. Of course, you know that the name is cypress. And on the Sydney Square, I found all everywhere in the Peach City. It's a kind of tree. But in China, it's a kind of herb. It's a kind of herb. The leaf is used for the board. And the seed, the kernel, the seed, we cook the seed as a kind of porridge, but that one is for insomnia. But of course, in China, we divided insomnia into different types. If you are very weak, you are fatigued, you are very tired with insomnia, you can try to cook that one, cook the seed of cypress. That one can help you to treat the insomnia. And this one, of course, not the corn. Corn is a kind of food. So here I'm showing this one. This is what's the name of that? Corn silk. Corn silk. Corn silk. Of course, it's not a kind of food, but in China, for the babies, for the infant, it's used for the frequent urination. Frequent urination because his emotion, because the infant, the baby is too weak or astonished by something. The parents will cook a cup of corn silk. The corn silk can help the baby to prevent or cure the frequent urination. It's a kind of use in China. And for the adults in China, the people believe that the corn silk can get more urination. So this one is used to treat the hypertension. Because the urination. So in our daily life, Chinese food and Chinese herbs, sometimes they are mixed. And this one is, of course, in your city, we can see many Boston ivy. And in fact, this one is a kind of herb in China too. And this one is used for herb, not food, because it's not tasty. And this one is used to treat the arthritis, some joint disease, the inflammation about your joint. So we cook the branch and the leaves to prevent or cure the arthritis, the joint inflammation. And here is bamboo and bamboo leaf. In China, bamboo leaf is a kind of tea. We cook the bamboo leaf to clear the fire in our body. And here is the special name fire. In fact, its meaning is inflammation in our body. Because sometimes you are nervous, you are very hot, upset, and depression. And you have the hot symptoms, include red eyes, and rapid pulse, red tongue, red lips. We call that is fire. So the bamboo leaf can clear the fire in your body and get more urination and calm down your spirit. So in China, the bamboo leaf is a kind of herb, and sometimes it's a kind of food, because in China, sometimes it's food, sometimes it's herb. So you can find in China, we have, of course, in Pechi, we can find many kinds of herbs. And in fact, the herbs is existing in our daily life. For example, do you drink coffee? Of course you drink coffee. Because in China, some people drink coffee, not everyone. But here, everyone drinks coffee. Do you think coffee is a kind of herb? Coffee can excite you, refresh your mind. Why you drink coffee? Because you lost the balance. When you lost the balance, you are fatigued. You are, how to say that? Depression. When you're in depression, you want to drink the coffee to excite you. So it's a kind of balance. And so as in China, people drink tea to excite our spirit and to clear the fire in our body. So it's a kind of balance. And another herb in our daily life is color. I saw many colors in the supermarket in here. Because at first it's invented in America and it's invented by the herbs. And now the herbs is invented, the color is invented for treat cold. But after that, people find if you put the sugar inside and something inside, it's a kind of drink. But at first, it's a kind of herb. It's for to treat the cold in our body. And so herbs are in our daily life everywhere. And here I want to introduce some herbs I found in page. Of course, not everything, but some very popular things, popular herbs. The first one is mint. It's mint. Mint is a kind of herb. And of course, in ancient China, it's a kind of flavoring and a kind of food. In ancient China, we prepare the mint cake. But now in China, it's a kind of food and a kind of herb, a kind of flavoring. And but I didn't find the herb in the ground. Only found the mint in a supermarket. And here is introduction about the mint. And the function of mint in China, we believe that the mint can treat the fever or cold, high fever. And sometimes the mint, what's the feeling of mint? When you drink the mint or eat the mint, your feeling is cold. So in China, people believe that mint can clear the fire in our body. And here the fire is inflammation. So people believe that mint can clear the inflammation in our body. And besides that, some things inside the mint, some ingredients inside the mint, comfort liver, but it's a kind of Chinese name. Here in TCM theory, liver is not liver, its meaning is emotion. So here, if you are excited, you are angry, you are upset, if you drink the mint tea or eat the mint food, the mint can help you to calm down your spirit. So mint can help you to comfort your emotion. It's the function of mint. And in China, in our daily life, the mint is a kind of food, but sometimes it's a kind of herb too. Here is how the mint is used in China. The left one is mint tea. We drink the mint tea. And the mint can, of course, can fresh our mouth. And the second one, we prepare the mint, jam or salad. And this one is a traditional mint food. It's called a mint cake. In the Song Dynasty, maybe 1,000 years ago, we cooked the mint cake. This one is a kind of food for people. And at that time, people believe that the mint cake can help us to prevent the stroke, because stroke is because of angry, and mint can calm down our spirit. So ancient Chinese people believe that mint cake can prevent the stroke. Its meaning is prevent angry. And for the second one is called Forsythia. Forsythia, we collect the seed of Forsythia. Forsythia, its meaning is its Chinese pronunciation is 连翘. This one is the basic medicine for bruises. Bruises, the impact wound on our body, and the blood stasis. But in page I found two kinds of Forsythia. This one is very popular. When I walked in the city, I found in many families I found this kind of tree. This picture I took that at the Pechi Cathedral, the big Pechi church. In front of that there, I took this picture. This picture is the Forsythia. Forsythia has 4 petals, and the flower is towards the ground. But this one, I took this picture is changed, but I took another picture. That picture is another kind of herb. They are in one family. But this kind of flower has 5 to 6 petals, and the flower is towards the sky. But the function of the two herbs, they are similar, and the name is a little different. This one is 连翘, this one is 迎春花. In China, 迎春花is meaning is welcome spring flower. And we get after the flower, we get the seed of the 连翘. We smash the 连翘 seed into powders and put the powder on the surface of our body. Or sometimes we drink the powder of the seed to treat the bruises or blood stasis in our body. So this one is popular Chinese herb in China. So it's not only a kind of flower, it's a kind of herb, and it's a primary herb in China. or here. This one is Forsythia seed. And this one is for the bruises, and the sores. And the sores root, because we believe, Chinese doctors believe the Forsythia can promote blood circulation. And in fact, in the clinic, we have some patent medicine to treat different disease. This one is for cold, and this one is for cold too. This one is used to clear the fire in our body, include the swelling throat and the bruises and some other disease. The third one is, do you know that? Of course, everyone knows that it's dandelion. And dandelion is very popular in China too. And once I get to Pechi, I find the dandelion in Pechi is, the size is larger than Chinese one. It's bigger than Chinese one. In China, it's a kind of food. Every spring, people will collect the flower, the stem, and the leaves, collect them to cook them like a kind of food. But the dandelion in China is a kind of herb too. Here, this one is dandelion. This one is not the food because not delicious. We select this one, the leaves, the flowers, and this one we cook them like a kind of food. How to use that? In China, we believe that the dandelion is used to treat pneumonia, inflammations in our body. So we cook the leaves, flowers together to treat the inflammation and mouth ulcer. And here, benefit liver. Benefit liver, to translate that, its meaning is to comfort your emotion, calm down your emotion, calm down your spirit. And after that, sometimes people use that as a kind of diuretic to generate more urination. And here is food. In spring, we collect the leaves of the dandelion and make them like a kind of salad. And here is the dandelion tea. Here the name is dandelion in China. And here is dandelion tea. And sometimes we cook the egg fried dandelion. And because people believe that in spring, our liver, here liver is meaning is the emotion. Our emotion will irritable. We are easily to be angry and sad and something else. So if you eat that food, it can help you to prevent to calm down your emotion in spring. Because in China we believe that in different seasons we have different features, different emotions. We need to eat different food herbs to balance our body, balance our health. And all these patent medicines, they are made by dandelion. Some ingredients is dandelion, and include some other herbs. And in China, many people know that this one is used to clear the fire in our body, include the stomach fire, throat fire, eyes fire. Of course, here fire is meaning inflammation. If you have red eyes and red throat, not red throat, swelling throat, that can help you to clear the fire. And so as this one and the powder of dandelion. Here is only dandelion. This one is made by two things. One is dandelion, another one is purple dandelion, another one. And the fourth one is chrysanthemum. In fact, dandelion and chrysanthemum, they are the same family. And in Pechi, in nowadays, today I walked to here, to here, and I found many like this chrysanthemums, white flowers on the ground, and the name is chamomile. It's a kind of chrysanthemum. This kind of chrysanthemum, and in China, chrysanthemum is a kind of flower. We call that gentleman. Of course, it's Chinese culture. And the chrysanthemum in China, we divided them into yellow one and white one. And they have the same functions, but different color has different functions. Because they are different kinds of chrysanthemum. And the dandelion is chrysanthemum can treat the wind heat. Here, the Chinese name, sometimes you are difficult to understand that. What's the wind heat? Wind is not the wind, because in ancient China, wind is adjective. Its meaning is environment change. Environment change. The temperature is very high or very low. Today is very hot. Yesterday is very cold. We call that wind because your environment change. And you touch some bacteria and some virus. We call that wind. So wind is meaning is your environment change. So you get the cold. And here the heat is meaning is you get the cold, but the cold is a hot cold. You have a red face, red eyes, red mouth, and rabbit paws, and yellow urine. We call that is a hot cold. If you have know that symptoms, you have average no fever, and normal pulse, and no red tongue, no red mouth. We call that a cold. So in China, the cold is divided into hot cold and cold cold. And this one is used to treat the hot cold. It's for hot cold. And similar with Gandalia, this one can treat the liver failure. Here, liver failure is because you are angry or irritable. You have the hypertension, red eyes, and some other symptoms. And that one can improve the acuity of sight and headache. Headache is because of emotion. So here, headache and liver failure is the same meaning. And clear heat and detoxify. Here, detoxify, not the real poison. In China, the poison, detoxify poison is meaning is side effect because of inflammation. You have inflammation, you have a swelling throat. We call that poison. If you have bruises because the hot, because the inflammation, we call that poison. If you have some other things, the red eyes because inflammation, we call that poison. So this one is meaning is the chrysanthemum can clear the inflammation in our body, and especially for the eyes. So in China, if you travel to China someday, maybe you can find in the university many Chinese students in the university, they will prepare a cup of chrysanthemum tea because the Chinese students, they read in the book, computers, playing the mobile phone all the days. So they use the eyes for a long time. So they drink the chrysanthemum tea to benefit their eyes. And in China, it's the function of that. But the chrysanthemum in China is a little different. The white chrysanthemum is for the eyes and for the liver, clear the liver, emotion, and eyes. And the yellow one, the yellow chrysanthemum, just like dandelion, is used for clear the fire, clear the inflammation in our body. So it's a little different. Here is the applications in China. We drink the chrysanthemum tea. Here you can see different color. This one is for inflammation. This one is for liver and eyes. And we have some patent medicine. This medicine is in China is used for nourish our kidney and benefit our eyes. So in China, people believe that the chrysanthemum can benefit our eyes. So if you nowadays, if you walk in the city, you can find many dandelions and many chrysanthemum or chamomile. Chamomile, you can collect them and dry them, put them as a kind of tea. That tea can help you to treat inflammation and benefit your eyes. But the taste is bitter. Okay. Here is kind of food in China. People will eat some food sometimes. This one we call that crystal cake. Chrysanthemum crystal cake. It's made with some ingredients. This one is wolfberry. This one is chrysanthemum. So in China, you can find many people, especially for girls. Girls like to drink the flower tea. They drink the rose flower tea and the peony flower tea and the chrysanthemum flower tea. And this one, bear garlic. Bear garlic, in China we call that 韭菜. Last month, we collect many bear garlic in Pechi and where at the Remy tile wood to the Ophir wood. To the Ophir wood, we travel to there on the west side of TV tower. On the left side of the west side of the TV tower, and this one is at first I call that is Hungarian child, and but with time going I find that the bear garlic is planted in China too, and this one is a typical Chinese child. The child is different, but they belong to the same family, and the functions is similar. They are similar. And in China, this is a kind of food, but in China it's a kind of herb too. In China we call the name is the deer ear child. Looks like the ear of the animal, so we call that deer ear child. And here is the function of Chinese child. But Chinese child is spicy. Chinese child is spicy. It's hot. But the Hungarian child is not spicy, it's not hot. So in China, we call the Hungarian child, the function is to treat the blood stasis. How to use that? We smash it up and put the bear garlic to treat the bruises on the skin, to treat the bruises, treat the blood stasis on the surface of our body. And it's a kind of herb in China. But of course, it's a kind of food too. And here is Chinese food. And Chinese food, this one is called Chinese box. And it's egg fried Chinese child. And last month, we collect some of the bear garlic and make this food. This food can help you to promote the blood circulation in your body. And this one, here, have you seen that in the city? Oh. This one is called porcelain, and I have ever thought that at the east side of Pechi, and the function of what? This one is invented first for the dermatosis, skin disease, and especially for this one, eczema. For the eczema, how to use that? Smash it into a cream and put it on the surface. That one can treat the eczema. And in China we cook that into a kind of soup into our stomach. I saw that in Pechi. And here you can make it as a kind of food, but the taste is sour. It's sour, the porcelain. And here is eczema. Here is Chinese herb with porcelain. And this one is a kind of ingredients inside the porcelain. In fact, it's for cosmetic, because the porcelain can be used to treat the eczema. So it's a kind of cosmetic in China. And this one is typhoid. Have you seen that? This one. This one we call that sometimes we call that a water candle. Looks like a candle and in the water. And we collect the pollen. The pollen inside is a kind of powder. Here is the function. We believe that the typhoid can promote blood circulation, and it's for the dysmenorrhea. If someone has a less amount about the menstruation, you can select this one. And if you bake the typhoid into a black color, this one is used to stop bleeding. So the round one is the promote blood circulation. The carbonization one is used for stop bleeding, according to different prepare. So in China, this one is used for treat here as blood urination and bruises. You can drink the powder. Of this one. It's used for blood, for this one, for the blood urination. And this one, I found this in all over the city. In China, its name is the grass in front of my car. And because you can see that everywhere in China. So we call that the grass you can see near your car. And this one is called 车前草 in China. We collect the seed of the planting. Collect the seed of planting. And okay, the function is first one to clear the heat and obstruct urination. What meaning soothe your urine? When you after the urination you feel uncomfortable, you want to do the urination again. It's called obstruct urination. And it can benefit the eyes, can clear the phlegm, and can treat the diarrhea, relieve the diarrhea. And here, we can use that to treat here. And in China, sometimes we cook the food like a kind of soup, wolfberry. It's wolfberry, and the soup with plantain. And sometimes we drink the plantain tea, the seed of plantain. It's used for the urination, hot feeling of urination. This one is cologne. Cologne. Have you seen this in Pechi? Have you seen this in Pechi? Huh? This picture I took. This picture is how to say? 2 years ago, we how to say, walked to the TV tower, and when we walk down from the TV tower, and on the street, we find a street on the street side. We find many cloud flowers in Pechi, and this is a kind of flowering. This one is a kind of flowering. It's used for preserve the meat or sometimes for the fruit in Asian China. And this one is found in India first, but after that, this tree is spread to everywhere in the world, including Europe, including China. It's a kind of flowering. And we collect the root of flower. The root of flower, this one is a kind of flowering. And here, we use this kind of flowering to stop the vomiting and warm our stomach. Because in China, and many Asian people, we have a cold stomach. So if we eat a cold food, we will diarrhea. So in China, we like the gingers, and like this one can warm our stomach and stop vomiting and stop the diarrhea. So warm the stomach and relieve the abdominal distension. So this one in China is a kind of herb too, because some people is cold people, they like this one. This one can help them to warm their body. And sometimes it's used for to relieve the belly pain, belly ache. Okay. And here is the cloud. Of course, in China I have found some other herbs, but here I only introduced none of them. Warm the stomach, and here reducing inwards qi. In China, it's a special Chinese name. Qi is meaning is the function of our body. So here, inwards qi is meaning is you have vomiting. The qi, stomach qi is meaning is digest your food. But inwards qi is your food is go out of your mouth. So we call that inwards qi. It's a kind of qi. And this is many kinds of Chinese flavorings. The cloud can warm our stomach and stop vomiting. We call that reducing the inwards qi. It's a kind of Chinese herb. So in China we have this kind of food, a kind of flavoring, and it's a kind of herb too. Okay, so it's the herb I found in Pechi.